Hare Krishna. Welcome to my Radha Madhav channel. Welcome, Sindhu here. Great, excited to be catching up with you all with another beautiful Krishna story. Right? So today's Krishna story is about a dog of Sivananda received mercy by a secret weapon. Right? That's the highlight. Secret weapon. We will know at the end of the story what is that. Right? It's basically a story about the power of Mahaprasadam. Okay, so let me start with a small prayer. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravan Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pascharya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. Please, dear Matajis and Prabhujis and all my friends and devotees, my humble obeisances. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Right? Let us start with the introduction and go on with the story. The power of Mahaprasadam should never be underestimated. Right? In Srimad Bhagavatam, we have a story of Narad Muni's previous birth, which he narrates to Vyasadeva about how he became such a powerful devotee, and by taking the remnants from the prasadam honored by the sages, all his sins got eradicated and he became purified in his heart. Such is the power of Mahaprasadam. So knowing the value of prasadam, we should not waste the prasadam, or we should never waste the opportunity to associate with the devotees. You should never miss that opportunity, right? Before honoring prasadam, you should recite a sloka before you start eating. Right? You should do this because it is like making the food you are eating into prasadam. Right? This is something the people in ISKCON do before they start taking prasadam. In my opinion, after I say the sloka and eat, the food gets better. It feels special, and you love the food when you eat even more. When you say this mantra and eat the food, right? So the Lord has been very kind to us, right? He's given this mantra, and that we can say and make our food better and make it into a prasadam, hari bol, right? So let's see the sloka, right? The sloka goes like this: Mahaprasada Govindhe Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Swalpa Punya Vatam Rajan Vishwasho Naiva Jayate. I repeat: Mahaprasada Govindhe Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Swalpa Punya Vatam Rajan Vishwasho Naiva Jayate. So meaning this, what is the meaning given here according to Prabhupada? For those who have amassed very few pious activities, their faith in Mahaprasad, Sri Govinda, the holy name, and in the Vaishnavas is never born. That means what they are telling here, this is the speciality of Mahaprasad. It gives us all the Krishna Prema. Right? Krishna Nama, pure Brahmanas, pure Vaishnavas are all non-different from Krishna himself. Right? Nama, the holy name, or Nami Krishna, the possessor of this name, are both the same. Right? Salpa Punya Vatam Rajan Vishwasho Naiva Jayate. Like those who have actually served Krishna, Guru and the Vaishnavas can all realize this. Right? That is the meaning of this here, given here. So now let us go to the story, right, of the dog of Sivananda, how he receives the mercy by the secret weapon, right? Once, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was living in Puri, you can see in the image, during his later days, and every year there would be a big gathering in Puri with a large group of devotees from Bengal traveling there to take the darshan of the Lord. Okay, so Sivananda Sena, he was an exalted devotee living in Bengal. Like usually he made the arrangements for the journey. Right? He maintained everyone and he provided them all the residential quarters. Right? So while going to Jagannath Puri, Sivananda Sena allowed a dog to go with him. Right? He supplied it food to eat and maintained the dog very well. So one day when they needed to cross the river, the Orissa boatman, he would not allow the dog to get into the boat. Right? As per their rules. Sivananda Sena was very unhappy that the dog had to stay behind. Then he paid the boatman 10 panna of the conch shells to take the dog across the river. One day, while Sivananda was detained by a tollman, right? Then his servant forgot to give the dog its food, right? So at night when Shivananda Sena returned and he was taking his meals, he inquired from the servant whether the dog has gotten his meals. And when he learned that the dog had not been supplied enough food in his absence, he was very unhappy, right? He then immediately sent 10 men, go and find the dog. And when the men returned without success, Shivananda Sena became very unhappy and he was fasting the whole night, right? So in the morning they all looked for the dog, but it could not be found anywhere. All the Vaishnavas were very astonished. Thus in great anxiety, they all walked to Jagannath Puri, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met them as usual. Right? And the next morning, all the devotees came there to see the Lord. And when all devotees came to the place of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they saw the same dog sitting little apart from the Lord. Right? It was a very astonishing sight for all of them. Furthermore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was throwing remnants of the green coconut pulp to the dog. Smiling in his own way, he was saying to the dog, chant the holy names Rama, Krishna and Hare. Seeing the dog eating the green coconut pulp and chanting Krishna, Krishna again and again, all the devotees present there were very surprised. Right? When he saw the dog sitting in that way and chanting the name of Krishna, Shivananda, because of his natural humility, immediately offered his obeisances to the dog. Right? Just to counteract his offenses to it. Right? The next day, no one saw that dog, for it had obtained its spiritual body and departed for Vaikunta, the spiritual kingdom. Right? Such are the transcendental pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi. He even delivered a dog simply by inducing it to chant the Mahamantra Hare Krishna. Right? So, Srila Prabhupada tells in one of his Chaitanya Charitamrita purport, the result of sadhu sangha, consequent association with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you go back to home, back to Godhead. Right? This result is possible even for a dog by the mercy of Vaishnava. Therefore, everyone in the human form of life should be induced to associate with devotees. By rendering a little service, even by eating a prasadam, what to speak of chanting and dancing, everyone can be promoted to Vaikuntha Loka. It is therefore requested that all our devotees in the community also, they become pure Vaishnavas, so that by their mercy, all the people around the world will be transferred to Vaikuntha Loka, even without their knowledge, right? So everyone should be given a chance to eat this Mahaprasadam and thus be induced to chant the names of Lord Krishna and dance in ecstasy, right? By these three processes, although performed without knowledge or much education, even an animal went back to Godhead. Hari Bol, right? One of the important points to understand from this pastime is that how we treat the living entities. Many times we are neglectful, right? And we lack compassion or respect for the living entities when it comes to feeding them prasadam. Right? It results from the lack of a faith in the potency of prasadam, that it will cleanse away all the contamination from the hearts of the living entities. Right? So Shivananda Sena treated even the dog, right, with so much of respect, then what to speak of human beings. Right? In this Kali Yuga, living entities are predominantly in the mode of passion and ignorance. Right? That is the nature of this Yuga, the nature of the world. Right? Whereas to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead and perform the devotional service and get into that platform, the bare minimum requirement is at least to be in the mode of goodness, sattvic mode. Right? So how to build that? How to build the bridge between the two sides? The only solution is, my dear friends and devotees, prasadam. Right? Because the potency of prasadam is to soften and cleanse the heart of the person, even without his knowledge, thereby bringing him to the platform of sattva guna, right, and the mode of goodness. At that stage, he is ready to receive the message of transcendence. There are unlimited examples in the history of, this bhakti cult in this regard. Right? Srila Prabhupada is one greatest example of this. Right? As I have already mentioned, there are so many stories regarding this also. So when he first started this movement, Krishna conscious movement, he did not impose any rules and regulations. Right? All those who came to him were drunkards, they were drug addicts, they were hippies, right? Impersonalists, only those people. Like what he did, he just fed them prasadam, right? And he sang kirtans. And over the time, how they all transformed. Moreover, once the feast was over, they would leave the plates and cups as it is. After everyone had left, Srila Prabhupada would clean all the plates, utensils, and entire room by himself, right? A few years later, as the movement spread all over the world, several devotees had gathered in his room for the prasadam, right? That was a magic. And at that time, Prabhupada went around each of them in the room, and pointing at them, he was asking them, how did you come to this Krishna consciousness, right? So by the time he reached the last person, every single devotee in that room had given the same single answer. What was that? Prasadam, right? So Srila Prabhupada then, he concluded and is saying that every one of you became a devotee because of that prasadam. So that prasadam is my secret weapon, right? Hari bol, right? Hope you enjoyed that story. That's it, my friend, dear friends and devotees. So I would like to conclude today's story, by saying that the literal meaning of the Sanskrit word prasadam is mercy, right? So when we say Krishna prasadam, it is referring to Krishna's mercy. So this concept of prasadam is to recognize the fact that it belongs to Krishna and they should be used for Krishna's pleasure, right? And because Krishna has tasted and enjoyed it, prasadam, it's not a material thing, it becomes transcendental, right? So Krishna and Krishna prasadam are non-different, right? Prasadam is so powerful. It doesn't stop with eating alone, right? They have also mentioned about the association of devotees, right? And also when we are working with them, right? When we are working, keeping Krishna in the center and we offer our results to Krishna, so then there will be no karmic reactions generated by that work, right? So I hope you enjoyed that story as much as I did. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. I would like to end my topic here. Catch you all with another motivational topic. Until then, vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.